Hey, what's up, everyone? Matt from Wishful Thinkers here. And guess what? Today I'm alone for this podcast. No, it's not the TNG podcast, but it is a little difficult to find new guests every single week. But I just wanted to come to you all today to talk about music stuff, like music today. And music today is like very different from how it was 30 to 50 years ago because, you know, there's like so much profanity, so much things that are happening in this world that are corrupt, and you know, these rappers and these pop artists sing about it, and it's not always the best thing because, you know, just take a band from like the 1950s, the Drifters. You know, how they sing about love is very different from how The Weeknd sings about love, and I look up to the Drifters more because they actually respect a woman. They actually respect a woman rather than, you know, like The Weeknd singing about how he just wants to have sex with her all the time and just do drugs with her and drink. That's not how someone, especially someone that listens to the music, should view a woman and how they should view that. You know, that's very, I feel like, in my own opinion, that's just very disgusting, like what he sings about. And then let alone like Ed Sheeran and Nicki Minaj, they sing about the same things. They sing about sex, drugs, and money. Not really Ed Sheeran, but his definition of love is not really like the same as, there's not that much respect in it. And you know, it's kind of like almost disheartening to see that, like, that transition from the past like 20 to 30 years on how like singers view love. And it's very, because you're giving it to a humongous audience, and you want people to listen to it, but you don't want them to listen to it for just because it sounds good. I mean, a lot of people like read the lyrics behind it, and it's a lot of it now is just, it's very disgusting. Like, you know, they're Steel Panther, all they talk about is sex, and I just hate it. But like, that's why I feel like music sucks today. If you don't know who Steel Panther is, go look them up. They're a band. They dress like a band from the 80s, but it's just like music in general. We all have our own definition, whether it's good or not, but it's very a touchy subject because, you know, like, everybody has their own opinions, everybody has their own influence, everybody has their own, like, whatever, everybody has their own thing, everybody has their own genre of music they like to listen to. And, you know, I feel that people shouldn't be rewarded for like rapping about like sex, drugs, or trying to get like all this money and then just like waste it on like mumble rapping, like singing about all this type of profanity. It's just, I don't think singers should be awarded for that, you know? Like, and like singers like Taylor Swift, she's been singing about her ex-boyfriend for the last 10 to 15 years because everyone can relate to it. Like, even though it's not always like the best, in my opinion, it's not always the best ticket to get fame. And I feel like to keep her writing hot, she has to keep like dating these guys and then breaking up with them, so she finds new inspiration for her music and how she makes her money. You know, like, she didn't want her music up on Spotify because it was more like because it wasn't free music, she sees Spotify as free music, and she just wants the money. And a lot of ways I hate artists like that. Like, I don't like Kanye West because, you know, that's all he sings about is sex, drugs, and money. And I don't look up to him in any way. I don't idolize him in some way. I don't even see him as a good artist because it shouldn't be about singing about that. It's not what everybody wants. Even though a majority of audience do want it, it's not what everybody wants. And, you know, some singers, like, I don't know, I'm gonna look up some singers right now. So, like, singers like Bruno Mars and stuff like that, You know, they sing about like life and stuff, and they sing about like the love that you could have, and it's very, it's he sings about like what everybody wants, but in a good way, and that's why like singers like Bruno Mars are very much more successful than a lot of other singers. And you know, like, this is why one reason why I don't like the Grammys is that like you can give awards out for classical music and composers and people that actually make good music, and but yet you give awards to people like Kanye West, people like Taylor Swift, people like Adele that just sing about like all the little shit that you shouldn't worry about in life, and that's not always like the best route to go in terms of making money, because that's all you're going to be known as, is someone who sings about all this other type of shit that doesn't really matter in life. And Adele especially, it stresses that. I'm not saying she's a bad singer, it's just her writing and her genre is just bad in general, and that's why I don't like the Grammys. I don't like watching them, because it kind of infuriates me that like you see artists, like kids are watching this and then they're buying into it. Is that they're buying into, you know, the society that we live in today, is that all it is about sex, drugs, and money, drinking, stuff like that. And it shouldn't be about that. It should be about like hope, and singers should sing about hope and inspirational things in life and for a better tomorrow. It shouldn't be about like all that other stuff, because it doesn't matter. That shouldn't be a part of our life. That shouldn't be a part of our life and the way that we should live life, you know, because like certain artists today, you don't hear about the ones who sing about that stuff. You don't hear about the ones that sing about hope, inspiration, and offer the future. They just sing about all the disgusting stuff. And you know, there's really nothing more I could stress than, you know, like kids are just buying into it, and that's why like music really sucks today, is that everybody wants something that everybody else is liking, and if one person likes this song, then other people will like it too, and if those other people like it, more people will like it. And like, it's hard, and it's a very difficult subject, because like, you know, like Chance the Rapper, he's rapped about and sung about everything over the sun, and you know, it's hard to see him, like, you could see him as an artist, but a good artist, I can see him as that too. It's just how you see his style of writing is different, but it's not, everybody's just writing about the same thing. And you know, even though he's never put out like an official record from a record company, he has a happy life, and that's the reason why he's so famous, is that, you know, he makes his own mixtape, and you can record just by recording on a computer and interface. That's really it, and that he basically proves it. And you know, I feel like that's one artist that you should look up to, but for the reasons and for certain songs that he has, because there are songs that are kind of like that, and they sing about profanity and stuff like that, and that's why like rappers like Chance the Rapper, he's better than a lot of other rappers. You know, Eminem, he rapped about like growing up in a hard knock life, but there were some songs that he would just disrespected women in general, and you know, that shouldn't be the case when you're trying to make something inspirational for people to listen to, and you're trying to make things about like hope and stuff. And you know, that's why I don't I don't generally like rapping, but it's you can't disrespect it as an art form. But like when you rap about all this other stuff rather than trying to find that hope or inspiration in your life, it's very, it's almost like very what's the word I'm looking for? It's almost very expected of rappers to do that because they see it as their ticket to fame, and it's not the way at all. Because I feel like you should just rap about the things that try to bring you up in life, and smoking weed, drinking, having sex, doing drugs isn't one of them. It's not what life is about, and that's one of the hard things that people try to figure it out, because you can go through life and you can think it's right even though it's in reality it's wrong, and a lot of people see it's wrong. But all you care about is that group of people that want to listen to your music, and I feel like that's a hard thing for artists to understand, is like almost knowing the difference between right and wrong, and the way that they might have been raised, the way that all these other influences might have done something that makes them put words on paper and puts it in music for other people to listen to, and other people are influenced by that, and it's just a shit circle, like constantly. It doesn't stop, because all these people are getting influenced. All these people are doing what other people are doing, and that's all people care about, is what other people are doing. And that's one of the main reasons why, like, for me, I wanted to do something with my life, and I still want to do it, and so does everyone. But everyone has that in their mind, that they want to know what everybody else is doing. And rappers are like that, to find their inspiration. And that shouldn't be the way of writing. They should rap about the stuff that's in their life, because like the group Flowbots, they rap about just stuff that's happened within their life, and how they have the potential to do things, how they have the potential to be great, basically. And they should rap about that within themselves, not trying to figure out what everybody else is doing, not trying to reach out. Because when you do that, when you open up your arms to so much stuff can go in. So much stuff can go into your mind, and not all of it can be good, not all of it can be bad, and it's just a mixture of everything. And it gets harder and harder for you to tell the difference between right and wrong. And I feel like rappers today and artists today in general have that problem of trying to find the difference between right and wrong. That's why I don't listen to certain type of music, because it's just the things that they talk about is just disgusting, and I hate it. But that's the world that we live in today. That's the society that we live in today. Everybody wants to hear what everybody else is hearing. Just because it's a popular artist and they put out a new song, I gotta hear it. That type of thing. That's the society that we live in today. When Katy Perry puts out a new song, when they just hear it for the sound rather than the lyrics and what's behind it. Haley Steinfeld, Love Myself, and that song talks about masturbation. If you really look at the lyrics, that's what it talks about. And that's one of the things that, like, kind of frustrates me, is that, like, people listen to the rhythm more, and they listen to the beat rather than listening to the lyrics, and then they start singing the song, and then hopefully, if they have enough common sense, that they realize what the song is about, even by learning the lyrics, by listening to the song so many times. But it already has that indirect influence on you because you listen to it so many times. And that's one of the things that people don't understand. And, you know, that's what you have to learn to understand, and you have to grow to be more wise, basically, in terms of the types of music that you listen to. You know, but that's the main reason why I kind of hate music today. But I feel that for all of you that are listening, that you should go and listen to some good music, like, you know, Pink Floyd, some, not Metallica, but some good bands and some good groups. You know, the old band Bread from the 1970s. You know, they sing about actual love, what love is all about, and that's why I kind of like them, because of what they do in that. But, you know, America and a horse with no name, going through a dry spell of not having meth or not having drugs, and they sing that it's like being in the desert. It's like all this, it feels like you're dying almost, and you're hallucinating so much, and that's what you have to try to figure out, what type of music that you're going to listen to, and to see if it's good or not, because there are so many, even old bands sing about that too, and you have to know the difference between, you know, what am I putting in my mind and what am I not. And again, a lot of people have a hard time doing that. A lot of people have a hard time knowing the difference between right and wrong. And it's the way that you're influenced and what you want to hear. It's good to be open to stuff, but yet again, you have to know the difference between right and wrong. And that's just like the main point that I can stress. If you take anything out of this fucking podcast, know the difference between right and wrong. That's all I can really say, you know. I mean, if you guys enjoyed the podcast and you like the Talks and Gamuts podcast, you like me talking about this stuff on a weekly basis or whatever, and I try to bring up specific topics and what people like to talk about, and I hope this music podcast was one of them. You know, if just go and subscribe to Wishful Thinkers on YouTube, like us on Facebook, like us on Twitter, or follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, and we'll see you guys later. Go listen to some good music. Bye.